Well, on our trip up to the northeast part of the state, we had an opportunity to stop by Famous Endings Museum once again and kind of catch up with John Herzig, who told us more about how this collection started. You know, this was even featured in Ripley's Believe It or Not. John told us a lot more. Well, John, it is absolutely a pleasure to finally meet you.
And to you, too.
You know, we visited the museum a couple years ago, and this is one of the things that's really stuck with me. I've told people about this over and over and over again, and it's the Famous Endings Museum, which is where you have memorabilia from famous people who have passed away, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
How did you get started?
Well, it was kind of funny. Back in 1996, I had been a funeral director at that time for about 20 years, and I had a collection of autographs. And one day I had a chance to get the autographed picture of the famous boxer Joe Louis, and for some reason the guy had no idea it was the funeral director that I got this autographed picture from, but when he sent it to me, he also included Joe Louis's funeral program. And that's how the whole nuttiness started.
So how did you proceed from there? I mean, to get all these other pieces?
One of the things I've really enjoyed as a hobby, and one of the things I've enjoyed about being a funeral director, is I love to hear people's life stories. You know, how people have used their God-given talents to change our world and our communities and those kind of things. And so one day I was shown to some people and they said, "You have funerals, why don't you display this stuff?" And I'm thinking to myself, who's going to be interested in this stuff besides myself? And if you had told me 7 years ago that this place become a tourist attraction, I'd have thought you were crazy, but that's kind of what's happened.
So as you've collected this memorabilia and built, how many pieces do you have now?
Roughly 2,500. I'll interchange certain sections of it over time, but yeah, it's about 2,500 items.
Was there any pieces that really stand out in your mind in the museum?
You'll notice I'm kind of a big Abraham Lincoln fan. Over here is a lantern that was on the horse-drawn carriage. It carried Abraham Lincoln through Albany, New York when he died. And so Abraham Lincoln, I've got several artifacts from his funeral. I've also always liked Annette Funicello.
Yep.
And
Mickey Mouse Club.
Of course, got the Mickey Mouse Club. So I've got some of her things, and
I see Lucille Ball on the wall over there.
Yeah, those are the ones I kind of get a kick out of. I have Pillsbury Doughboy, Mr. Clean. There's a lot of different ones that people aren't famous, but they've influenced our world.
Yeah. So, what are the hours of the museum, and how can we come and visit and enjoy this?
Typically, the funeral home is open from 9 to 5 during the week. People stop in all the time now. As far as a tour, if they want a tour, typically we schedule those ahead of time.
That sounds great. Well, John, give us the contact information to give you a call and your website so people can check this out online and come to Dover and see this.
The website is www.tolandherzig.com.
Fantastic. John, so thanks so much for having us back. It's a pleasure to come up and see you. Thank you.
Thanks for coming. Thank you.